Okay, so today's lesson, we're going to start talking about data. We're going to talk about random samples and surveys. We're going to identify what makes a good random sample. So when you want to know something, you don't ask every single person in the group. You ask a sample of people, and we're going to talk about how to get a good sample. We're also going to talk about what makes a good survey question. This is kind of an interesting topic, and it's not very mathy. There really aren't any numbers involved in today's topic, so it's slightly different than what we typically do. Uh-oh.
Not working again.
Oh, no, that wasn't what I wanted to do.
Oh, yeah, I already said it.
Okay, so apparently I must have saved this with the notes on, but that's okay. Okay, first fill in is population.
Population. Okay.
A population is just a group of objects or people. Some examples would be the students at Juniata Valley could be a population. So the population is what I want to know something about. So maybe I want to know how many students at Juniata Valley prefer chocolate ice cream. That's my population that I am surveying. Another population might be shoppers at a mall. People who shop at a mall. Guys, don't comment. Just listen quietly. Populations do not have to be people. I could have candy in a bag, and that might be a population. Now, when I want to know something about a population, I'm not going to ask every single person. So certainly if I wanted to know who at Juniata Valley liked chocolate ice cream, I could ask every single person at Juniata Valley. But most commonly when people want to know, like this is election time, so when people want to know how many votes a certain candidate is going to get, they don't have to ask all the people in the state, they only have to ask a certain sample of people. So we take what's called a sample. A sample is a part of the population. It's a smaller part. Okay, now, when we take a sample, it has to be a certain type of sample. A random sample is the kind we want. In a random sample, each member of the population has the same chance of being selected.
Wait.
So if I were taking a sample of students at Juniata Valley, I would not just want to pick you guys who are here in my class right now, because not everybody at Juniata Valley would have an equal chance of being selected. I would only be choosing 7th graders, and I would only be choosing 7th graders who have me for class, which actually is all the 7th graders pretty much. So you would be a good sample for the population of 7th graders at JV, but not a good sample for the whole student population at JV. Okay, let me get rid of this. Okay, you survey customers at a mall. You want to know which stores they shop at the most. Which sample is more likely to be random, and explain. When you have your test on down the road, you will have questions like this. If you do not explain, you won't get full credit. So that's part of the process is being able to explain. So there's two possibilities here. We could survey shoppers in a computer store, or we could walk around the mall and survey shoppers. Which one do you think might be a better random sample? Travis?
Should take a walk around the mall, survey shoppers.
Yeah, that would
Personally,
be.
I'd set up a booth and say.
Well, yeah, you could also set up a booth in the middle of the mall. That would be another good way. Why is that a better way than surveying shoppers in a computer store? Hillary? Right. It's kind of, this population is limited. It's not everybody who's in the mall has an equal chance of being selected if you're just in the computer store. Andrew?
Like that you're in a mall, there's so many stores, and the whole day they look at the people, see what they're doing.
Yeah, you
There might
probably
be
want to
different
limit it to a certain time. So this one is more likely to be random because every shopper has an equal chance of being selected. And that's pretty much the answer every time. You are picking the one that gives everyone in the population an equal chance of being selected.
So the biggest one?
Okay, let's look at this one. You survey a store's customers. So we're talking about an individual store now. You ask why they chose the store, which sample is more likely to be random. First, let's think about our population. Our population here is the customers of whatever the store is. Whoops, I wrote popular instead of population. Population, there we go. The population is stores, let's say customers of a store. Okay, which is a better random sample? You survey 20 people at the entrance from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., or you survey 20 people at the entrance throughout the day. Andrew?
Throughout the day.
Throughout the day. Why would that be a better random sample than part A? Kayla, what do you think?
If more people would come in throughout the day.
Yeah, you'd get all the people who come in rather than just the people who come in from 5 to 8. For example, there are people who might work second shift. They would not be available to come in between 5 and 8, but they might be a shopper at that store. So not everyone would have an equal chance of being selected. So it's B again, and it's for the same reason as up here. Every customer has an equal chance of being selected. Whoops. There we go. Okay, I'll give you a second to make sure you get that copied. You all good? Okay, next thing is to identify good survey questions. So a biased question is a question that leads people to think about a certain way. It often includes opinions in the question instead of just the facts. Kind of have a little extra thing there. There we go. Okay, so some examples. This will make more sense whenever you look at it. Part A, do you think that soothing classical music is more pleasing than the loud, obnoxious pop music that teenagers listen to? I did not write this question. However, the person who wrote the question, what do they want you to pick?
Classical music and
They want you to pick classical music. These are separate questions, so don't look at B and C yet. You can tell that the person asking the question themselves, they prefer classical music because they describe classical music as soothing and they describe the pop music as loud and obnoxious. So we have adjectives in there that try to get the listener to think a certain way. So this is very definitely a biased question. Okay, what about question B? Which do you think is the most common age group of people who like pop music? Is there anything in that question to make people think a certain way?
No.
Travis, what do you think?
I guess it's an opinion.
Can you tell what age group the person asking the question thinks the answer would be?
Probably around teens or something.
But can you tell from
No.
the person? No, the person asking the question didn't lead you to think any certain way. So this one is a fair question. It's just asking a question. It's just the facts. What about question C? Do you prefer classical music or pop music? James, what do you think? It's just the facts, so it would be fair. It doesn't try to sway you either way. You can't tell whether the person asking the question likes classical or pop. All right, next section has 6 questions for you to determine whether they're biased or fair. I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll put it back on after you have time to think about them. Okay, do you prefer greasy meat or healthy vegetables on your pizza? Caleb, what do you think?
Biased.
Biased, why?
Because it's saying that it's greasy and it might not be greasy. I don't know.
Or they use the words healthy. Healthy is generally preferred. Which thing do you think the person asking the question prefers?
Healthy
Yeah.
pizza.
I actually did make up that question. That's the kind of stuff I say to my family to get them to like vegetables.
You're vegan and don't eat any meat.
I don't eat a lot of meat, but no. Okay. Hillary, next question. Which pizza topping do you like best?
Fair.
Fair, good.
Cows.
Do you prefer roller coasters or bumper cars? Travis. Is that biased or fair? What do you have written down? No, this one.
Fair.
Fair. Yeah, it's fair. There's no opinion in that. We can't tell which thing the questioner prefers. Jenna, number 4. What do you think? I agree with you. It's biased. Why did you think it was biased? Yeah, that, what word up there tells you that maybe they don't like the grocery store? Overpriced. Yeah. Because they're, obviously the person asking the question thinks that grocery stores are overpriced and therefore they want you to say you'd rather shop at Walmart. Jace, what do you think about number 5?
Biased.
Why?
Would you rather sleep 8 hours and be alert is like a thingy, or 6 hours and have memory loss, memory problems?
Yeah, so you can tell the questioner thinks that if you sleep only 6 hours, you're going to have memory problems, and we all know that would not be a good thing.
Memory problems.
Nick, do you have a question or are you volunteering?
I have a question.
Okay.
Well, it's not really a question.
Okay.
My cousin is always like cleaning at
You
5.
know what? Tell me that later. I'm going to have you answer the last question, then you can tell. All right. Do you prefer Pepsi or Coke? Is that biased or fair? Fair. Good.
I don't like soda.
Okay,
at
your
all.
assignment is page 283, 1 through 22.